I still remember the day I said I do. It was 1973. I was young, in love, and wearing my Navy uniform with pride. She was my high school sweetheart, the girl I dreamed about when I was away at sea. We stood there together, believing in forever. We promised to be faithful, to be partners, to build a life. Back then, I had no doubt she was the one. At first, everything was perfect. We had our little routines, our shared dreams, and our private jokes. Even when I was deployed, I wrote letters and saved up for gifts. I thought distance would make our bond stronger. I was wrong. One day, while I was still on active duty, a civilian friend reached out with news that hit me like a torpedo. "She's been cheating on you," he said. I remember staring at the phone in disbelief, the blood pounding in my ears. This wasn't just any rumor. This was a trusted friend telling me my wife was with another man. Anger and heartbreak tore through me all at once. I had faced storms at sea, but nothing prepared me for that storm in my chest. When I came home on leave, I didn't tell her what I'd heard right away. I waited, watching her, hoping it wasn't true. Then one night, she came home late. Her hair was messy, her excuse vague. Something inside me snapped. I confronted her right there, my voice shaken with fury, and she admitted it. No excuses, no clever lies, just tears and apologies. She begged for forgiveness. She swore it would never happen again. And you know what? I believed her. Because I loved her, because we had history, because I couldn't imagine my life without her. I told myself people make mistakes. I told myself marriage was about working things out. So, I forgave her. After my service ended, I left the Navy and took a good job in Florida. I thought a fresh start might help us heal. Moving to Florida meant taking her away from her old circle of friends, from her family, from the environment where she'd gone astray. I believed distance from temptation would protect our marriage. For a while, it seemed to work. We settled into a new routine. She smiled again. I started to relax. Maybe, just maybe, we had survived the worst. But I didn't see the warning signs creeping back in. It began with harmless things. She'd say she was going over to a girlfriend's house in the evening. At first, it was an hour here, 2 hours there. Then it got later and later. I'd sit at home, dinner cold on the table, telling myself not to overthink. But my gut knew better. I remembered the last time, the secret phone calls, the strange excuses. This felt like déjà vu. I started watching the clock when she left. 9 o'clock, 10, midnight. By 2 a.m., my heart would be pounding with dread. Then came the night I'll never forget. She left at dusk, said she'd be back soon. Midnight came, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., no call, no message, just silence. I sat there in the dark living room, the glow of the lamp throwing long shadows across the floor. My hands were clenched on my knees, my jaw tight. Finally, at 4 in the morning, I heard the door open. She stepped inside, looking startled to find me sitting there. My eyes met hers. No yelling this time, no pleading questions, just a cold, heavy truth between us. "You need to find someplace else to live," I said. My voice was low, steady. She didn't argue. She didn't even cry. She simply backed out the door without a word. That was the moment I realized something deep. The person I had loved no longer existed. Or maybe she had never been who I thought she was. Either way, it was over. We divorced soon after. I'd given her my youth, my loyalty, my forgiveness.
I'd uprooted my life to give us another chance, and she threw it all away. It's been decades since then, but the scars are still there. They're invisible to others, but I feel them in the quiet moments. Trust isn't something you can rebuild once it's been shattered twice. Not for me. And that's why I tell this story, because there's a lesson hidden in my pain, a warning to anyone listening who might be in a similar situation. Love can be powerful. Forgiveness can be noble, but ignoring patterns will destroy you. A cheater doesn't just cheat on your body. They cheat on your trust, your dreams, your future. They rob you of the version of yourself that believed in them. I thought I was doing the right thing by forgiving her the first time. I thought I was saving my marriage. But what I really did was give her another chance to hurt me. And she did. Now, I'm not saying people can't change. Maybe some do. But in my experience, when someone shows you who they really are, you have to believe them. You can't keep sacrificing your self-respect, hoping they'll transform. When she walked out that door at 4 a.m., she wasn't just leaving our home. She was leaving the last shred of respect I had for her. I never saw her the same way again. Even today, when I think about relationships, I can't help but hear the echo of that door closing. It's a sound that reminds me of boundaries, of self-worth, of lessons learned the hard way. So if you're listening to this and you're wondering whether to forgive someone who's betrayed you, I can't tell you what to do. I can only tell you what happened to me. I forgave. I hoped. I gave another chance. And I was betrayed again. Maybe your story will be different. Maybe not. But don't ignore the red flags. Don't silence your instincts. Don't let love blind you to reality. Because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. You have to look in the mirror and know you protected your heart as best you could. I still believe in love. I still believe in commitment. But I also believe in boundaries. And I believe that once trust is shattered twice, it's time to walk away. This isn't a story about bitterness. It's a story about survival, about learning that self-respect is non-negotiable, about realizing that some wounds don't heal if you keep reopening them. So when people ask me, would you ever trust a cheater again? My answer is simple. Never. Not because I'm cold, not because I'm unforgiving, but because I learned through heartbreak that trust is sacred. Once it's broken beyond repair, no apology, no promise, no tear can rebuild it. If you're facing that choice right now, remember my story. Don't let nostalgia or guilt convince you to ignore reality. You deserve loyalty. You deserve honesty. You deserve someone who chooses you every day. I married my high school sweetheart in 1973. I thought we had forever. Instead, I got a life lesson etched into my heart. Never trust or forgive a cheater. They will always betray you. And that's my truth.